Hey guys, alright, so what I want you to do is take out the word problems worksheet that I gave to you yesterday. We're going to be doing the first one on our lonesome, and then what I want you to do is do the second one by yourself. I'll give you a hint though how you can solve it by yourself. There's a really good hint that I'm going to give to you. Okay, so let's read it. A person stands on a cliff that is 55 meters high. He throws a stone up in the air and the stone hits the water a few seconds later. The approximate height of the stone in h meters above the water after t seconds, okay, is modeled by this formula. So the height, h, equals 55 plus 30t minus 5t, and the t's just mean how many seconds the thing has been up in the air. So if we're solving for t, that means we're solving for time in seconds. If we're solving for h, that means that we're solving for how high this stone is above the water. So the question is, when will the stone hit the water? Give the answer to the nearest tenth of a second. Okay, so when will the stone hit the water? Oh, when the height is 0. Okay, so we're going to be substituting 0 for h, because when the pebble hits the water, there's no distance between the water and the stone, so the height is 0 meters. So I'm just going to rewrite the formula. 0, can you see? Oh yeah, that's good. 0 equals 55 plus 30t minus 5t squared. Now, what generally people like to see is they like to see all the letter and lettery bits on this side and the more simple version on this side. So I'm just going to rearrange it. So I get negative 5t squared plus 30t plus 55 equals 0. Now, if I were giving myself a grade, I would say, that's a fail because my equal signs are not lined up. Please forgive me. All right, so whenever we're factoring, whenever we're doing this sort of thing, what we want to do is we want to factor out unhelpful variables. And let me tell you, negative 5 is a very unhelpful variable. So I'm going to take out the negative 5. What we're left with in the brackets then is t squared minus 6t. Why? Well, because 30 divided by negative 5 is negative t. Minus 11 equals 0. Now, here's the thing that's really nice about this equation. It's 0. So anything divided, or 0 divided by anything, is still 0. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 5. T squared minus 6t minus 11 equals 0. Now this looks familiar. What we want to do in our thought processes is, well, first of all, can we factor? Because that's the easiest way to solve for something. So let's think about it. 1 times negative 11. Can anything multiply out to negative 11 and add up to negative 6? No, absolutely nothing. So looks like factoring is out of the window. What's the next thing that we can do? Ah, yes, completing the square. So let's do that. What I want to do is I want to isolate the terms with lettery bits, in this case t. So I'm saying t squared minus 6t equals 11. Now remember that cool thing that we did with the perfect square trinomials? What is something that will bring this to a perfect square? Well, half of this, negative 3, squared is 9. So if I'm adding 9 to one side, I need to add 9 to the next. So I can just easily factor this to x minus 3 squared equals 11 plus 9 is 20. I can take the square root of both of these sides. Boop, 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 boop. So I get x minus 3 equals the square root of 20, but guys, we know our radicals, so it's actually 2 root 5. Add 3 to both sides, we have x equals 3, look what I forgot. If I, if you guys were here, you probably would have caught it, and I would have had to owe you a lollipop. But I don't owe you anything now. Okay, so don't forget that positive or negative. So what we're left with here is plus or minus 2 root 5. All right, so this gives us two different solutions. We can get x equals 3 plus 2 root 5. We can also get x equals 3 minus 2 root 5. Okay, so that makes it a little bit more complicated, but let's see. Another thing that the question asks is to the nearest tenth of a second. So that means we got to plunk it into our calculator. When I plunk this guy in here, so 3 plus 2 root 5, I get something like, another thing is I switched variables here, guys. Sorry about that. I should actually make all of these guys a t. I'm glad I caught that. So the time in seconds is actually 7.47, but it says to the nearest tenth. So what I'm going to do is round it to 7.5. When I plunk this one into my calculator, it gives us something that makes my head hurt. It gives us t equals negative 1.5 seconds. Ooh. We're not going to consider that because we're not going to consider negative time. I know, it's not fun, but we're not going to consider negative 1.5 seconds as a valid solution. So what we can do is we can take the one that we will accept, the positive one, and say that it is 7.5 seconds. So when will the stone hit the water? After 7.5 seconds. You have another question here at the bottom. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, can you see it? Yeah, now you can, okay? What I want you to do is I want you to turn to page 205. Look at this, guys. I'm taking this question right out of the textbook, okay? And it has a nice full solution for it. What I want you to do is read the solution, make sense of it for yourself, and write yourself up a method. After that, I want you to do some questions. I know, homework stinks. Page 207, I want you to do number 6. Page 208, I want you to do number 7 and 9. Now on the test, I'm not going to give you any more. That's fine. So those 3 questions. On the test, I will give you one question that's a word problem. So make sure that you know how to do them. Remember, I taught you another word problem too, taking the number, the square of the number plus the actual number is a certain number. I hope you guys know what kind of question I'm talking about. If you don't, come and talk to me. But there will be some word problems on the actual test. All right, thanks for listening, and see you when you look up from your computer.